Hello, and welcome to Geometry, Unit 1, Tools for Geometry. This is Section 1, Points, Lines, and Planes. Our success criteria for today is I can identify, name, and model points, lines, and planes. We have three undefined terms that are the foundation of geometry. The first being a point, which is represented by a dot, and that dot typically has a capital letter next to it. We use that capital letter to name our point. In this case, it would be point A. Next, we have a line, which is made up of infinitely many points. It is straight, and it extends indefinitely in opposite directions. To name a line, we choose 2 points on the line, put them next to each other, and put a bar with arrows moving in the left and right direction above them. Or we find a lowercase italicized letter next to the line, and we use that letter to name our line. Lastly is a plane. A plane is a two-dimensional surface that extends infinitely in all directions. The way that we name it is we find a capital letter in one of the corners of our plane. In this case, this would be plane B. Some other pieces of information that are good to know would be collinear versus non-collinear. Collinear would be points on the same line. Non-collinear would be points not on the same line. For example, I'll draw a line here, and I'll draw another line branching off of it. And on my first line, we'll have P, Q, and R. And on the line branching off, we'll have S. P, Q, and R would be collinear, while S would be non-collinear with P, Q, and R. Lastly, we have the intersection of lines and planes. The intersection of two lines, notably L and M here, form a point, P. The intersection of two planes would form a line. That is true for all cases of this. Next, we are going to work through two examples. Example number 1 says use the figure to name the following. A line containing point X. So we want to find our point X, which is right in the middle here. And then look at the lines that point X is sitting on. We have two lines in particular here, line N and line R, both contain point X. So we could say that point X is their intersection. Part B, another name for line N. If you'll recall, to name a line, we could either use the lowercase italicized letter or pick 2 points, maybe V and X, and use those 2 points to name our line. We would put them next to each other and put a line with 2 arrows on the left and right. And I wrote VW here. VX also works. You could do WY. Any combination of any point, any combination of any 2 points on a line would work. Part C, a line containing point W. Again, we're just going to go find our point W here. And we see that point W is sitting on our line N. Part D, a plane containing line N. As best as we can tell, line N is sitting within this blue shape here. And the name of that blue shape would be P. So we would say plane P. Last one for example, number 1, the point where lines R and N intersect. We have already found that. That would be point X. So point X is the answer to part E. Last example on the back of your page. Example number 2, use the figure to name the following. Name 3 collinear points. Collinear means on the same line. And the 3 points that I spy here that are on the same line would be J, K, and D. Part B, name 4 points that are coplanar. Coplanar, meaning on the same plane. Any combination. Pick 4 of these letters. J, H, G. Oops. Let me fix that real quick. Said J, H, G, F, E, or L. Any of those 4 points would be a perfectly acceptable answer for part B. Lastly, name the plane containing line HG and line JH. Let's find HG here. That would be this line here. And JH would be this line here. Therefore, to the best of what we can tell, line HG and JH all sit on this plane here, plane X.